Today is a special day, and I would love to send blessings to brothers and sisters of the equinox, as I am born on the 21st. I am born the longest night of the year, and voila. So it's an amazing day today. We expect the rain, and here we need it, but it seems to just pass and forgetting us here. So today we're gonna have a chat with an amazing woman that I had the chance to know by one of my followers who introduced us. And she's a doctor, and she's a mother of 4 children. She had an amazing path life to arrive where she is today. And so Christina Rahm should be here soon, and we're gonna have a chat about her path and how at this time in her life, what brought her here in her life since child, what's the desire she had, and what was pushing inside of her to do what she's doing now. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm amazed about the path of people. How do they arrive where they are in their life? What experiences they had, often difficult ones, and how these experiences has been catalyst to develop something beautiful and beyond just the personal, goal. It's just for something that is for the collective. So let's see if Christina is here. Let me check. Not yet. I'm checking. I'm not really good in this technology, but I just do. So I invited Christina, and she may join us. So we had a chat some days ago about her desire to bring something to make a difference in the world, and how this was pushing since she was a little girl, and this desire to heal the world, to heal people. And I felt connected to that because since I'm little, it's like I feel, oh, you should do that, or that could be good, or you should eat that. And sometimes I've been a pain in the house for my family because I was feeling that maybe they should consider to have, a different diet, or to do some very simple exercise. And I was maybe younger and more intolerant, so I was pushing more on them, and I've been really a pain for a lot of them. But I see that it was like something inside of me wanted for others to best their best time, to live their best time, to be the best they can be for themselves, and so this is something that moved me since very little girl, and very, very, very little actually. And I guess it's because my grandparents was really taking care in a simple way of themselves, but also of the surrounding of nature, because it's the same thing. We are organic as nature, and when we care for nature, no matter what nature, it can be a rock, a plant, an animal, another human being, the air we breathe, the water we drink, and all that, we take care of ourselves. It's all connected. So it's that there is a push, I think, deep inside of each of us to want the best for others. It's like there are 2 different, world parallel. The one that is about beauty and abundance and well-being and wanting good to others, and the one that is just thinking about, you know, destroying, killing, and all that. And it's like it's a balance, and I always speak about this antagonist forces, and I'm a little bit emotional these days with what is going on in the world. But these antagonist forces that are at play, and even stronger since the last months, and it's really, really, I observe that like in a bird view, and I have the feeling the only thing we can do, we have now the tool that we can witness this, um, if we are clear with ourselves to go beyond propagandas on any side, and to decide inside, to be really clear with what we want and we don't want, don't be the game, you know, played by what is going on, but really be firm inside with our desire and our thought and our wish about how we see the world. And this is creator, because we create with our mind, with our connected to spirit. And unless we realize that, our lives cannot be at peace. And so let's see, I may have Christina. Yes. Yeah, I was lost in my monologue, you know, because it's very hard. Hey!
Hi there. How are you?
I'm well, and you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's so good to see you. You look
Yeah.
beautiful.
Oh, thank you, you too. So you are so busy. I really appreciate that you take this time, you know, to share a little bit with us about your life experience, because what you told me last day, I was like, wow, me too. I wanted to heal everyone, but we do maybe in a different way. But your path is quite intense and extraordinary. So I wanted to share that. I wanted you to introduce yourself and to tell us, since little girl, how you've been motivated to do what you do now.
Thank you. Well, you have had an amazing life, and thank you for the connection.
Mm.
I actually knew as a little girl. I think I explained to you. I was sitting there with my sister, and going through intense trauma about some things I was dealing with in our home, and being upset as a child. You know, when you're little, you get upset, your feelings get hurt, and you're emotional. And I just heard God tell me that He loved
Mm.
me, or the world. And you know, for me at the time when you're little, you don't understand. But what I felt was this overwhelming sense of love
Mm.
and compassion, and a voice tell me that I was supposed to. The only reason that I'm here is to love people and to heal and to be a servant, but that I would have to lead. And at the time, I didn't understand that. The only thing I understood was just the immense love and the feeling of nothing else mattered, that except for the fact that I was supposed to love people, but I was given this love. Like I could feel this love that I could share.
Mm.
And it's made all the difference in my life, no matter where I've gone or what I've done. And I shared with you, I've been to 89 countries. For work, I knew that that was the reason that I was here. It wasn't science. It wasn't medicine or formulations. I do different things with that, but it was really to show love and to show peace and to do the right thing. And I also at that time understood that for me, it wasn't one religion. It wasn't one thought process. It was the overwhelming understanding that something much greater than me loved me. And that's what my mission was here. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I was here. And I don't know what it's like not to feel that, because I was such a young age, and I realize now what a gift it was. But I'm sure you know this, that when that happens, especially when you're that young, you don't understand that that hasn't happened to everyone, or that, and I don't think that made me more important because it happened to me. I think that was just my path. You know, that was my understanding. And it was interesting. I used to have this dream, and I still have this dream, that there's this, and this is interesting, this is just my dream, that I've had repetitively, that there's this other world that's another universe. And every time it's these women that are surrounding, basically looking down at where we are, and they have so much love and compassion, and they're basically organizing how to help people here. And that's been a constant dream of mine throughout my life. And for some reason, I always know that I'm there, one of the women,
Mm.
but it's interesting I'm here. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I've never actually, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to come meet with you and talk to you. I've never really understood why I feel that way, because I feel like I'm there in my dream watching me and everything that's going, and that brings me this peace. But it's these beautiful, strong women
Mm.
that are directing and making sure everything's okay and nurturing everything and loving everything. And I don't know if that's because I'm a female or what the reason is for that, but that's been an overwhelming force in my life. And I've lived every day trying to focus on that. There's been times in my life when I got caught up in material possessions or politics or different things that basically distracted me, which is why I try really hard now not to do that. Because the mission of trying to do what I promised when I was little or was told when I was little is what dominates my life now.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, but this is a beautiful dream, and I totally get you there. And I see that, this we are the manifestation on this physical world, on this planet, about this wise woman with wisdom. I could say Mother Nature, Mother Mary, the archetype of the mother who give birth, who
Yeah.
give life, who want good, who want to nourish for the best others. And we are manifestation, and each of us are doing it in our own special way. And
Yeah.
and and what is amazing is how, because you told me also that you went through difficult things in your body, and me
Oh,
too.
yeah.
And these were the most amazing for me gift to better understand what is a human being, what is a body, how it's working,
Yeah.
and to really understand how this body was speaking to me. But through the body, it was my soul that was really pushing for me to understand something that it was on the hinge of conscious unconscious in my behavior or in my, you know, relation, but I was unable really to point it, or I was unable really to be honest to face it. And my body always, my soul through my body, through pain and through things in my body, always brought me back on track. And when I understood, every time it was an insight, yes, it's that. And I knew that the thing was ill, that it was no way that this continue. Because when we are on this acts of integrity with what is right for ourselves, the body is okay. It's just when we block the flow of life that something uh, is not flowing well in the body, because it's exactly that the body wants us to see. So our soul, through with the body as tool, wants us to see what, and stimulate us a desire or something, to something different, something better, something, and it's that. And it's amazing how we go through this moment of difficult, of challenges in the body, but every time it brings us to another step, to
Yeah.
elevation.
It does.
It's fascinating. And
It's fascinating to me too, and I try to share that message with a lot of people because for some reason when people get sick or they go through, and I had Lyme disease, I had cancer, I've always been sick since I was a little child, but I've had a great life, so I'm not complaining. But there were times that I would feel sorry for myself, and I would immediately, I say immediately, within a couple of hours, I would remember this love, remember the mission, remember why I'm here, understanding, like you, that the more I'm able to get through things and evolve, the more I'm able to be the best what I need to be to help the most people and to experience the plan I'm supposed to have, the journey, here. And I have a lot of confidence because of that. So every time a challenge comes, I can't say sometimes I'm not exhausted by it.
Yeah,
Like,
about that.
sometimes I'm like, I don't need this right now. I had to, but the truth is, I understand that it's just part of it, and that if I wasn't going through things, then I'm not probably living the life I'm supposed to, because I've got to go through these different levels to be an example or to learn myself on this journey. And I fail, sometimes. Always, if I bring it back to self reflection, prayer, meditating, and really focusing energetically
Mm,
on what the reason is that this is happening. And if I don't give in to fear when something bad happens,
yes.
I'm able, because I have to tell you, there's been a couple of times that I can't say I've given in to fear, but like when I was bombed in Lebanon and kidnapped in Tetuan, different times in my life, I have felt intense
Yeah,
fear
yeah,
where,
I
yeah,
guess. A lot
yeah,
of adrenaline, I guess, there.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, scared of what was getting ready to happen. But it's interesting. I would immediately start breathing. I've always done this. I
Mm-hmm.
start breathing. I start focusing. I start, feeling this connection and understanding it's okay. And that whatever happens, it may not be something I want to happen, but that I'm connected to something much greater than me that's helping me through that. And that's what gets me through those times. The older I've gotten, I think the better I've gotten at that,
Mm-hmm.
at really knowing that's where I need to turn, because um, there was a period in my life where I felt like I went through at one point what I considered true success, which I know now that true success was not monetary or from a career perspective or from a social media perspective. That's not success. But there was a time in my life when I was younger where I felt like that was success, and I felt like I didn't need anyone to help me. And I
Mm-hmm.
kind of turned my back to, I still understood the connection and why I'm here, but I remember thinking I can handle this on my own. Like I've got this, and I couldn't have been more wrong. Like it was a pivotal point for me and very strong learning lesson for me.
Mm-hmm.
And if you said, did something horrible happen during that time? No, I just lost the connection. I lost the understanding of how important it was, because I only depended on myself, and it was lonely, and it was the wrong feeling. It was about self-gain,
Mm-hmm.
and no one around me probably knew that, right? But I knew that. And so I encourage people, no matter what stage they are in their life, to understand that, we're just small pieces to this amazing journey, and that I do believe we're meant to connect to certain people. Like I think we meet people. When I met you on the phone, for example, I think we're supposed to meet certain people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we can turn our back to that. I think that you have to acknowledge it and then get to know that person.
Yeah, because I think what we create, and this is a fantastic time we are living, we created at the collective unconscious, the
Yeah.
internet. It's like an extension of our invisible side. So we connect by that, and by connecting, even if we don't know us, we know that others are vibrating, if I can say, on the same wavelength. But by connected like that, or even in person, we make this network, I could say, of goodness stronger. We create an egregore. I see this with my customers with the shows. Most of them understood totally that it's beyond the shawl, that we are weaving a kind of net all around the world with goodness, with something that is timeless, precious, that we want to keep, that is comforting us, that is protecting us, symbol of protection, and that is helping also because it helps artisan and orphanage. So this is what I'm doing. But I understood very early that regarding the followers, customers who came to me, we are in a way resonating on the same thing. And by the fact to be in touch really, or by video, because this is also very powerful.
Yeah.
Only an image is, even an image is very powerful, because in the image you have the consciousness of the subject, but also of the person who took the image. So the consciousness of, for example, me as photographer, someone see one of my picture can resonate with my consciousness and eventually develop other thing or be fed of something that is dear to me, that I can transmit beyond even words. But when we are in video like we are now, that we are changing, this egregor becomes stronger, because in a way we manifest that energetically by being connected together. And this connection will not stop when we end the live. It's something that is after at work, and that's going to resonate in other people that are watching the live or that are sharing the live. That's going to be on YouTube as well. And this spread, and our consciousness and our goodness goes in echo and increase just by manifesting in each of them, each of us watching, each of us connected by the invisible realm that we are from, you know. So it's maybe a little bit abstract. I don't find the right words for that, but it's so evident to me. And I'm like, wow, we are living the most amazing time. Oh, you disappeared, my Christina. Oh, let's see what is going on. So Christina is in the invisible realm. Let's see that. Hey, it was.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened.
No, you went in the invisible. You went that, you know?
I'm like, wait a minute. I was literally listening so much. I understood everything you said, and I agree with you. The image and the connection that you've created, the network that, to me, it's not even invisible. You've done an amazing job of like producing positive energy within people to manifest positive things that can heal. That's what I personally see.
Oh, thank you. You know, for me, it's like you when you were a little girl. Me, when I was little girl, I was seeing the beauty around me in the world, and I wanted to share this with the one I loved, you know, with the one. Often I was not understood, because for me, I see a beautiful stone. I say, oh, look how this is beautiful. And people look at me and say, yeah, it's a stone. You know?
Yeah.
So it's going like, oh, she is a little bit perched, a little bit, you know, like that. But it's what I like, and I'm so happy to live in this time, because look, with a phone, I can do all these things. I can share what is dear to me. You know, I don't feel I have a mission, but every single day I feel a desire to share what I love, what makes me happy, what the beauty I see. It's pushing inside of me, and this has been since I'm a little girl, you know, and excited about that, and showing the beauty of the world. That is a reflection of our divine essence.
Yeah.
Is who we are. And
Yeah.
it's time, really.
I mean, a rock, that's so interesting because I've always been fascinated by rocks and stones, never really by diamonds, I have to be honest. I've always loved like very beautiful, unique stones that I would just pick up when I traveled. Yeah, I have a lot of mine too. Like, I'll show you, like here. They're all around me.
Yeah,
I just keep
yeah.
them like I have them everywhere. Like even I'll show you this. I know this is like I actually it's just a
Yeah,
rock I found. You know,
from
but it feels so good and smooth and it's so pretty. It's gray.
mm,
And if you said, well, but I have stones like by my bed, I keep
yeah.
different crystals and stones, and they make me happy. And I live in a very traditional um, world. I think Nashville, Tennessee is very, I'm very different. You know, I'm like, my friends are like, why do you have these stones and
Ah,
crystals by your bed and throughout your house? If I was in Oregon or Washington or where you are, it would probably be more understood. I think they're beautiful and they bring me happiness and
yeah,
I can feel the energy.
yeah.
And I think of all the years of they've been here and how much older they are than me and how much more they know than me. But I know that when I say that to people, they think, well, why is she even, focused on that? But for me, I have to tell you, I was like you as a little girl. I was fascinated by just small, beautiful things, even a clover
Mm.
or a
Oh,
flower.
yeah.
Yeah. Just something small that was here that thought was such a miracle it was here. And now that I'm a scientist, unfortunately, I see what we've collectively done to our environment and
Mm.
to our world. I think I'm even more connected and nostalgic about it because
Yeah,
there's so many, we're here. I know obviously that a stone, a rock, does not have feelings, but to me it has energy. And so for me, it does in some format. I know that it's not a human being, but I can feel the energy. And I know that's not a typical discussion to have. Um, but I believe that we're all connected in some way
oh, yeah.
and that the stones that are here were made. And if we just the positive things we have in this world, we won't have these beautiful things anymore.
It's really. I spoke about that in some of my video. Um, the connection. I have some minerals, crystals, and some days before September 11, I was living in New York, and all my minerals were in the entrance. And I opened the door. I did. It was maybe the Friday before. I was leaving for France the day after the Saturday, and suddenly I hear them. I don't know. I cannot say I hear a voice, but I felt put us in our chest. I was shocked. I opened the door and I have this message. I say, it was so strong that I could not doing it because I had a special chest for my crystals in wood with red cloth. So what I did, I took all my
Amazing.
crystals and I wrapped them in the red cloth and I put them in the chest in the back down of a closet. But I was I was really surprised about that being suddenly like that, so strong. And I left for France, for Corsica, and my husband stayed there in New York. And the morning was the afternoon in France of September 11. I was with my mother, and we had a terrible, terrible pain in our hips, both of us. And we were not understanding what was this. And like something pushing us on our hips. And I said, wow, what is this thing? And I know about cell memory and all. I was just arriving in Corsica with my mother. It's, it's the feminine part where we have, we make
Yeah.
life, all
Yeah.
that. And I was with that. And the hips is about associations, the weddings, all this thing about the collective as well. So, but I was not, knowing what was going on. And suddenly I have a phone call. It's my ex-husband now, my husband calling me in surprise and in shock because we were living beside the World Trade Center. And he was awake by the the noise and the plane and all that in the tower because we are 2 blocks away. And I was like, it was surreal that day. And some days after, I thought, oh my goodness, the Stones, they knew it.
They
They
knew.
knew it. They
Yeah.
asked me to them because after that, he has been evacuated. In fact, he had an appointment the same day, the 11 at 10 o'clock on the plaza to be manager of a restaurant there. And me, I told them, you know, it's Jewish holiday. Come with me in Corsica. If you have to have this job, it was 2 minutes walking from home, you will have it. No more, it's Jewish holiday. Nobody will be there. Come with me 1 week in Corsica. No, I want the job. I want to be there. At 10 o'clock in the morning, it was no more tower. So imagine the shock about all that. So our building has been closed for 1 month. I could not go back home. My husband has been evacuated. Everything was, and the apartment of the building were all open because firemen has to come and void the fridge and the garbage and everything.
Yeah.
And I was thinking of my crystals. They knew they were right in the hallway where everybody could pass, you know, and who knows, they were so beautiful, who knows. And they knew it. They knew it. And this happens so many times, you know. It's so I don't, maybe they don't have feeling, but for me, they are entities, especially crystals. They are light crystallized. And your name is Christina, you know, it's like, it's all about this crystallization, how we change what we do with the opening of our consciousness. We change something because the mineral is connected to the skeleton in the body. This is the structure. The mineral is about structure. It's about something that make, for example, our body to with the fascia that hold all this organ and the thing. Without skeleton, we will not have this shape.
No.
And this is the mineral. This is the base. So how, by our consciousness bringing light, we change this carbon-based silica in crystal, and it's what we do just by consciousness. And you are a scientist. Maybe what I'm saying is not really precise or that, but it's like
No, it is, because we actually use crystals and we use sound and we use energy as in bioscience engineering and everything we do. It's just that for whatever reason, and you know, time travel, the string theory, all the different things we study it, quantum physics, you use crystals. But for some reason, people don't want to make that connection. And I think that's because people don't want our consciousness to understand the importance of certain things. I think that's one of the reasons I'm so connected to crystals and the different energy that they have. And they really do emit energy, and it's not just it's a fact, right? They will draw in certain types of energy or get rid of certain energy. One of the formulas I worked on, I use a crystal, you know, and it's really hard for people to understand. How can you use a crystal to go into someone's body and help them clean their body? Energetically, we're just energy, you know, we really are. And it's this gap between traditional scientific methods and then the reality of what we're here to do and why we're here and how we all work together. It gives power. It gives too much power to someone like you or me, especially probably with what I do. But I wouldn't be asked to meet with prime ministers and presidents and different people unless they somehow believed, you know, in what I did. But to give me that power and that knowledge, to acknowledge that, that's probably never going to happen, which I don't need the power. I just need people to understand the ability they have to make changes and to understand what to do. And you listening to the crystals, there'll be some people that'll hear this. We'll post it on our stuff too if you want us to. They'll hear it and they'll be like, "What do you mean? That doesn't make sense. These women are crazy." And the true answer is we're not. And I wish people could open their spirits and their minds to
Yeah,
understand that. I really do.
it is that. You know what it is? We are now, we speak about the big awakening and all that. What is going on is that we are in a very deep spiritual growth crisis. Because what people discover more and more, it's very simple, in fact. It's not, I say always that it's not complicated. People are discovering in a simple way that intention is what makes the thing. What
Yeah.
is your intention when you cook for yourself, when you create something, when I wrap my shawl to send to my customers, I have an intention. I bring something in that. When you do what you do, your product and thing, and the crystal it's like a intensifier of intention.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you can take a simple stone and have intention too. It's just like a support of your intention as well. But when we use crystal, it's multiply that. It's really enhancing a lot. And mostly if you have, it's what happened also when we use homeopathy or dilution of minerals and all that. What is our intention when even we take it?
You have to have the right intention. I talk about it all the time, and I'm not sure. In fact, I know most people don't understand what I'm saying. I always say you can take a million things into your body, but unless you have the right intention, unless you have the right focus, it's not going to ultimately help you. And I know people have a very hard time with hearing that, but I mean that. Like I will speak to, I have worked in traditional medicine, even with the FDA, and I know our government and other governments have done negative things when it comes to pharmaceuticals and different things they give people. I know that 100%. And then that's not the topic of today, but at some point we could talk about that. What I know is I continuously saw people get better throughout my career before we ever treated them with anything. They were spiritually having the right intention and the connection and the focus that they wanted their body to get better. That includes me. I had a brain tumor and a spinal tumor, but I wanted to get better, and I did take some of the things that I worked on, and I know they helped the inside of my body. But I also had the intention of really wanting to get better and to have it go away. And I would focus consistently through the day and the night on, and I always close my eyes, I see this white light, and I focus on getting things better or on other people or on my life and what should happen. And I understand not everyone has this white light. I didn't used to know that either. When I close my eyes, I see it, and I don't know. I don't, again, that doesn't make me better in any way. It's just what I see. And it's something that I focus on, and then I concentrate energetically on solutions to help this world be a better place. I wasn't worried when the pandemic happened. I was in New York. I flew in that morning of 9/11. If you ask me, I was in a taxi going to Princeton when the first plane hit. I was working for Janssen J&J. And I was like you, it kind of took the next month of my life, it changed it. I had two little kids back in Seattle, and I had tried to fly into New York the night before, but they couldn't land at JFK, and they had to reroute us to Boston, and we flew in early in the morning. And I have to tell you, I remember thinking something's wrong. Like something is energetically off and I can feel it. And I called my husband at the time and told him that. And he told me that it was just me being nervous that I left the kids. And I left the kids all the time. I was like, no,
Yeah,
something's not right. And then it happened. And I think you listening to the crystals and you listening to your inner voice, right? Because I do, I will say this. We know as scientists, it's not like a hidden fact. We know that like ESP, being able to read someone's mind, it's basically there are certain individuals in this world that can connect energetically and on a cellular level to understand what someone else is thinking or doing or understand what's going to happen before it's time. Our government uses those people, of course, to help them with different things.
Mm-hmm.
So people that tell me that's not a reality, that is a reality.
Mm.
It's something scientifically we know. Um, it's that people are too scared of that, right? Or too overwhelmed with the discussion we're having even. And because they don't feel that and they don't know that, they don't want to recognize that maybe other people too do too. And I want to say this, and I want to say this in not a, it sounds egotistical, but we know that some people's cellular basis and their energetic makeup makes them more evolved. So they have this connection so they can understand it. We also know that cells can talk over the phone, like you said,
Mm.
and they can feel each other and they feel this harmony, right? This peace. And it's factual. My hope is that people, if they don't have that ability, that they work on it. Because I used to tell my children, discernment is so important in life. The
Mm.
ability to understand and discern what's happening before it happens or while it's happening. And if you don't have discernment, you need to ask for it and you need to focus on it, because I believe we all have the ability if we choose to access it. I really do. And as a psychologist, my education really doesn't mean anything. You're studying out of a book, you're taking tests, you're developing things. The truth is, someone could have as much knowledge as me and not have gone to school like I have. It doesn't matter. You don't become a more evolved person from a textbook, right? Or from school. But I'm thankful for my education, because especially my advanced education at some of the schools I went to, it helped me feel a little bit more normal, because in those advanced classes, at some of your major schools like Oxford and Harvard and Johns Hopkins, they do acknowledge this. It's
Mm.
just, and they also acknowledge that when a soul leaves a human body, when it dies, the energy remains in the room for a while. They don't know where it goes after, but it's still there after that person has
Mm.
died. I just don't have the ability to have the conversations with even my own family, to be honest, because it sounds like I'm, surely this isn't true. It's so when I met you, for example, and when I've met a couple of people in my life like you, um, it's interesting to talk to you, because you have known this somehow since you were little. Even if it's identifying with the energy from a crystal, you understand that. And that's a gift. And your audience, I think, I think you must be sharing this with so many people that you're helping, because it can be lonely for some people to think, wait a minute, why am I the only one, experiencing this?
Yeah, it's that, but it's really amazing, because I was seeing myself when you were speaking, when I was little girl alone in the court, because nobody was playing with me, because I had an Arabic name and I had an Italian surname. Ross is Italian and Yasmina is Arabic,
Yeah,
so they pushed me away, like if I was called the dirty gypsy or dirty Arab and all that. I was not understanding, so I was alone.
yeah,
And that fact, that thing to be alone, in fact, was the best thing, because
yeah,
I was alone. It was sad. I was sad. It was sad to me that others didn't want to play with me. But the fact to be obliged to be alone with myself made me, maybe also because I'm born the longest night of the year, so made me be more present, interested by mysteries, by seeing another world, seeing something different, playing with what is there just for me in my little universe. And in fact, it's that increase that connection with the invisible, or with manifestation in the visible realm that are directly from the invisible. It's like this
yeah,
connection always been there, because of the used to be alone. And a lot of people, it's very difficult for them to be alone. But I was thinking of that this morning when I was walking. I said, I'm alone since so many years, and I'm so happy. And when I was very young, just had my 2 kids, I had this friend astrologer who told me, oh, when you're going to turn 50, you're going to be alone. I could not imagine that. I was 20 years old with 2 kids, and someone telling me that, I said, no, no, no. And I remember that when I was teen and working in a hair salon, I was seeing this woman, older woman, alone. And I found this so sad. I was like, oh, they're sad, they're alone. It's sad. For me, it was the couple and all the family and thing. And now I'm alone since so many years, and I love it. And
Yeah.
it, it's really, it's like, wow, how I could change like that. And in fact, it's something that encourage people, try to offer you the luxury, even if you are in family with children, it's not easy. Offer you half day or a day alone, just for you, just alone for you, and just like, it's a balm. For me, it's a balm for my soul. I'm like, I love it. And when you are like that, there is magic coming all the time, all the time. It's there, just there.
Yeah.
So what is challenging? I had 2 children, not 4 like you. I'm amazed, 4 children, my goodness.
They're wonderful. They are wonderful. But yeah, 2 children, I think I love all 4 of mine equally. They're amazing. But 2 children's a lot too. I mean, it's a lot to have other human beings. It's amazing. But having them in your life. I have to tell you though, I love being alone. So
Ah,
for me, it's the only way I can feel. In fact, I feel bad about myself sometimes because I love this so much. It's my only way to really can connect with myself so that I can do more is to be alone. I need that energy so that I can really focus on what the purpose is. But I know at one point in my life, I was like you, I went to an astrologist and numerologist, and they basically told me different things that were going to happen. For example, I do not like to fly. I'm scared of flying. And they told me that I would travel to over 100 countries and work and be this person. And this was when I was young, and I was like, that's not happening. You're completely wrong. That is not going to happen. And I was positive about this, right? I was positive. There's no way. And I look back. I was 19 years old. In our country, we had what's called the Atlanta child murderers, which was a serial killer. And this lady helped solve that. She was friends with one of my best friends' family. We were at a dinner, and she just downloaded, to me, all these things that have absolutely come true. But, as a 19-year-old, you're like, how would this
yeah,
person know this? And then also you think you know yourself, when you're that age, and you're like, there's no way this is going to happen.
yeah,
So it's interesting. It's interesting that you had an experience where, basically this was predicted and this happened, but you're in such a good place because I think being alone and I've been alone a number of times in my life. It helps you get again to the next evolution of who you are. If you're always constantly around everyone else, you can't achieve that, in my opinion.
yeah. And I, like I said, I'm open. I've been married twice, divorced twice. I have 2 children that are 50, so now I'm an age of retirement, if we can say that. I will never be retired, but I'm almost 70, and
Wow.
it's a time where women at our age, when we turn, at menopause time, 50, 55, 60 years old, and more, this is the best time for us to be with ourselves.
Yeah.
We gave to family, we gave to children, we gave to society, we gave to work and all that. And now it's our time.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. I'm living since the last, I can say, 5 years, the best years of my life. And I'm aging. I'm aging like everybody.
Well,
And
you do not look 70, and you're absolutely you really are. This is the first time I've ever said this, but you are spiritually beautiful. You're physically beautiful, but you can see a spiritual energy about you that is very different.
This is that. It's your spirit. What is your mindset? We spoke about intention and discernment. How do you, how we use our mind, create our shape?
Yeah.
How do I do yoga because I want to stay slim, because I want to, or do I do yoga because I can interiorize, I can be in touch with my organs deeper, I feel good, and the shape comes. But the first goal is not to have a better body. The first goal is to feel good, to have pleasure, to really, connect. And after, the shape is coming without even looking for it. People ask me, how do you do to stay like you are at your age and menopause? I never even thought about that menopause can be wrong on me. I took all the advantage of menopause. But I was someone always cold. I was not cold anymore. This is wonderful. And I had this, not a lot of flashes, but I had this sweat night, for months, but totally sweat. I had to change my bed middle of the night. And I was like, wow, cleaning my skin. And it was like, I was amazed how I could throw away so much water from my body. You know, it's but it's bad, and I remember I was in New York when I was menopause, and I met this woman who was doing Reiki and acupuncture. She was 10 years old than me. I was 55 and she was 65, and she told me, you will get back your energy. You will get, because I was so down and so tired. I was not taking any hormones or anything. I just had plants that my gynecologist gave me, and I was taking this homeopathic and mother tincture and, letting do.
Yeah.
But I was tired. I had this idea of death all the time, and I'm not someone suicidal, but I was thinking of death until one day I realized that it was just a symbol of the death of a cycle inside of me.
Yeah.
Voilà. And when I realized that, I don't have this death thought anymore, because my soul was telling me something, and oh yes, it's that. It was done. It was not, I have this idea of death and darkness and thing, but it took me some months, and the menopause lasts 10 years. Even a little bit more than 10 years for me. But the energy you get back, you learn a lot of things when you get menopause. You learn how to rest. Because, for example, I'm Sagittarius, fire sign. I was always like gone on the next exciting chapter, sport thing, moving, jumping thing. With menopause, you are obliged to slow down.
Yeah.
And when you slow down, you discover another world. Yeah. You can start to be, like I said before, more with yourself, and more feeling the body, and more desiring to be better when it's not good inside, because you suffer, because you go through things, and and that is what we learn. It's to really slow down and to really take care of ourselves. I have this woman with menopause now, and she said, yeah, I'm a singer. I sing until 4 o'clock in the morning in I don't know, a club or something. And after, I don't understand. After I did my exercise today and I'm exhausted. I say, you sang until 4 o'clock in the morning. The day after, you rest. You don't exercise again,
No.
It's like, for me, say, oh yes, yeah, imagine your body, you did all this thing, and you have to just slow down and enjoy yourself and take care of yourself, and don't exercise like crazy the day after at 55 years old. Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sometimes we push ourselves too much. I do that with myself. Like, I feel like I've got to keep keep working out or keep working or keep, and you have to take time to refuel. You really do, to recharge the batteries of yourself. And 55-year-olds are not 25. You know, I mean, it's, and I'm like you. I, when there's a death to a side of yourself or to a part of your life, that means you have a rebirth into something else. And a lot of people don't want to accept that. They don't want to get older. And I've always said, and I mean this, I wouldn't go back to being 20 or
I mean,
30. Like I like where I am. You know, I really do. And I think people have got to accept there's so many gifts you get when you get older that you didn't have when you were younger. You know, so it's amazing to me what people have to offer. And when they discount the gift or they don't realize it's a gift, then they sometimes never get to feel how wonderful it is to have this rebirth, you know, this time by yourself.
yeah, yeah, it's amazing because I'm still amazed by the process. I'm
Yeah.
still, wow, and it brings me joy. You know, it
Yeah.
brings me joy inside. I say, wow, what I'm going to discover, maybe I'm going to live maybe 20, 30, 40 years more. Who knows?
Yeah.
We never know. I project myself much older than some years ago now because I love too much what I'm living here. I love the human
Yeah.
experience I have, you know, I love it. I told my son recently, I don't want to die. I love too much what we are doing together. But you know, it's so amazing to see. I don't see these beauties anymore. I don't want, and I want also to continue to desire in my heart the best for the collective, the best for humanity. I think our intention, our mindset about that created it. It's for that I think with what we are seeing these days, these months around the world, it stimulates inside of us. I cannot say it's not hurting me. Some days I'm crying
Yeah.
because what is going on. And but this breaks my heart, and as my heart is broken, it stimulates a desire of something beautiful for the world, because I'm not eternal, I'm gonna die one day, but just create something beautiful in my heart and sending that and reaching others that have the same desire. And it's the egregor we were speaking before about. And we create that all together in the invisible realm. And this, more we are going to create that, instead of staying focused on the atrocities that they are fact, they exist. But if we go beyond that, we'll have a bigger picture, and we stimulate inside of us, no way, never again, know that we create something else, and this gonna come. And I don't know the time it's going to take, but I'm very positive in that way. Maybe it's my Sagittarius thing again, you know, to see only positive, and Jupiter pushing for expansion of beauty and goodness. But it's that we created the mess we are in. This is a good thing. We can create something else great
Yeah.
instead of that.
Absolutely.
And and uh, and it's what we do individually, even if we are not known, even if we are just in our family. Just the fact to bring goodness around us to our neighbors, it creates another world already there. We don't need to do extraordinary, amazing, grandiose things. Just by being kind and expressing the tender side of God, we are already giving something, creating
Absolutely.
something different.
Absolutely. I hope everyone hears that from you, because that's so true. I say that all the time to people. You don't have to do something that you think is, we all have a perception of what we think is amazing.
Yeah.
Truly, I believe every person's amazing as long as they're, and as long as they are sharing and expressing kindness and love and goodness. I think it's a positive change. It's a ripple effect for the rest of the
Mm.
world. When you express and do horrible things that are bad or mean or self-serving all the time, you're not helping our world. And
Oh, 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 oh.
I'm so sorry. But I was going to tell you, I really believe you're right. And I believe it's something that people have to understand and accept because it has been a hard time, but we can make this rebirth of our world, a much better if we do this together and energetically focus on it.
Yeah.
And it takes every person doing it. I have a hard time when people say there's nothing they can
No,
do.
it's not true.
It's not true.
Yeah.
You can be nice. You can be kind. You can offer a hand to people and share the positive side of the world just by your life and your light. And I know people are learning that through you. So thank you so much. And I hope to meet you soon. I really wanted to come and meet you where you are. So I will text you because I'm hoping by next year I can meet you. And thankful for the connection that we've had.
Yeah, me too. I'm very grateful and quite impatient that we meet. Or you come here, or I meet you somewhere. It
Yeah,
could be really amazing.
it would
Yeah,
be amazing.
sure. Yeah.
Uh,
So
I
I wanted also to speak, but we don't have time, but I encourage people eventually to go on your website and check it out a little bit, what you are doing, what you are offering, even as alternative for people to feel better in their body, that they had injection or something, that something can help them. A lot of people ask me what I can do. I got that. I didn't want. I got the injection. I don't feel good. I'm not a doctor. I'm not, but I refer to people who can help in bioenergy or with product supplement that can help. And I know you are doing something really amazing in that way too. So I encourage people to check on your website or page and be connected with you to check it out and feel if it resonates to them, because I'm not giving advice to take this or this
No,
or this, but
no,
there are so many good products with people like you with good intention. We are not, it's not for dogs only, you know what I
no.
mean? It's also because
Yeah.
it can be really helpful for a lot of people who are going through very difficult time in their bodies. So this is something also we could do another live about it.
We can, but yeah, the products that I worked on help some people and all over we have, we're in 76 countries, but I think also it's the intention and the spirituality. It's interesting though, and nothing's a chance, just like the crystals, talking to you, that the products were launched the month COVID hit the United States. And, the crystal in Clean Slate, which helps clean out the body, has been able to help people, and that's I'm thankful for that. But it's not mine. I don't own it. It's the world's. It's the earth. I've done so many things in my career I never made a dime from, and I know you have too. It's not why we're here. It's
Mhm.
part of we have to live. We have to have the money to live. But for me, there's a lot of things I've done just to help people get better and energetically. I know you know this, like if you have to accept it though, that it can help and not just take something. So we can talk about that later. I'd love to meet you and talk more about what you do
Mhm.
too, and have you on my Instagram and our show. So I'll reach back out, and I hope you have an amazing holiday, and you have time with your beautiful self and with whoever you want to be with.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you very much. I hope we can do something together soon.
You too.
And you are welcome when you have time. I will be very happy to be on your Instagram too in live.
Thank
It
you.
could be really amazing. And you can, select a topic about just expressing beauty is what we do, and
I want to talk about crystals.
yeah, yeah,
Because I've had so many people not understand how I worked with a crystal and made it into a formula that can communicate with the body. So I would love to talk about this. It's so hard for people to understand. Just like people don't understand how beautiful and energetic water is. It's a
yeah.
conduit, and I understand that. So I'd love for us to talk about that. I'm so sorry I have to get off. I have there's always things I have to do and then what I want to do, and I want to stay on. And so but I want to meet you. So I've got to figure that out. Thank you again so much. And I look forward to talking to you soon. And I mean that.
Thank you to you, Christina. Have a
Thank you.
good end of the year as well with your family and
Thank you.
enjoy it. Very soon.
Thank you. Are you going to be in Palm Springs the rest of the year?
Yeah, I'm in Yucca Valley. I am 40 minutes from Palm Springs. I'm
Okay.
here. Just
Okay.
here. I'm going to
Okay.
leave end of January for 1 month, but I'm here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Are you going to Europe in
Now I
January?
go in Thailand to be with my son there, to spend
Oh,
in Thailand. Yes.
okay.
So
I'll,
we have
I'll reach out to you so we
Okay.
can figure it out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye. Bye, Christina.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye. Yeah. So Christina was just speaking about at the end about water. And this was really something I wanted to share with you again. Every time I pour me a glass of water, I am like admiring the beauty of the water. It's like magical, this element, the transparency and the crystal clear and the light that is reflecting. And I'm like, wow, and this gonna be in my body. So it's a moment, a little moment of ecstasy actually. And I guess when I am with that intention and that not validation, but with that simple observance of the beauty of it and the gratitude, I guess it goes in the water, and I guess it brings me lightness, and it makes me good. It makes me feeling good. So maybe there is one thing that I would love to encourage you to be more present is when you pour yourself a glass of water. And also the intention. Sometimes I have tap water that I filtered, sometimes I have bottled water, but I go beyond the fact it's tap water or bottled water in a plastic bottle or in a glass bottle, but it's not leaving a more. I go beyond that. I go to, like, I see the water flowing underground, and this water is all around the world and flowing underground, and I'm like following this flow, and finally this water, pure and beautiful from the underground or the glacier or the mountain, is inside of me. And I don't put the negative thing of the tap water, plastic bottle thing. No, I connect to the source of that water, and I'm thankful to it. So it's a kind of little meditation exercise. I don't like the word meditation a lot because I am in that state of appreciation. Appreciation for me, a conscious appreciation. When you take time to appreciate, when you take time to be with the element and the air. I was breathing this morning and I cleaned the filter of the AC as well. And I was like, and it goes through, and everything is like, we are really really blessed, to be able to have this experience with our human bodies, with the senses. It's really fantastic. More I age and more I feel that, and more and less I want to die, because I love it. I love to feel with senses, with the senses of my human body. I love that. And it's like I know deep inside, at another level of myself, at the invisible level, that it's only here I can feel this. It's only here I can have this experience with the senses. And it's wonderful. And I want to express that as much as I can in my little for the orphanages, because now I'm helping also a little orphanage in Uganda, on the top of the one in Nepal. And I'm trying to find, a way to make money to be able to support both of them. So I just did a small collaboration some days ago, and money goes to Uganda. So you have to know when you watch the video, if you take the badges, they're going to go for this organization, for these orphanages. And it's dear to me. So I am always also thinking about something. I may have a discussion soon with someone that is also desiring to make a difference in education. In French, we said, I am an élève, I am a student. Élève in French, it's like we learn being a student, and élève, in fact, I realized that it brings to elevation. And it's who we are. We are like plants. We just want to elevate. And the way we feed ourselves, that it be the food, or that it be what we hear, what we read, what we see, gonna elevate ourselves or gonna make us involvate. Evolution or involution. So try to be aware of how you feed yourself at every level, how you can feed yourself with food that can be spiritual or physical food that can help your being to elevate, for a better elevation, for a better raise, for a better lighter. And this doesn't mean to don't be incarnated. To be lighter doesn't mean to be out of the ground, but you can be lighter. It's what dancers, they are very grounded, using the floor to elevate. So how can we use what is material and in a proper way to elevate our consciousness and to feed our souls? Because we came here with a human experience in a human body, but it's our soul that is experimenting through this vehicle. And how can we appreciate by the senses, even when there is pain, to remember how it is when we don't have pain. I've been through pain in my body, very strong. And every time I was not on the fear, I was on the remembrance, how it is when it's out of pain, and to really be in touch with my body and say, okay, I trust you. I know it's not by chance this is happening. It's a process, and I trust you, and it will be okay. And it's not easy sometimes. It's really not easy, because when you are in, you are in. But if the fear is out of the way, it's lighter. And so it's what I wanted to share with you. Try to just take things simple. Don't inflated things. Have a bird view about things, because all what is going on is participate to the evolution of human race toward a new race that is spiritual. And I'm speaking about this on the last day of Sagittarius, and it's because maybe we are from the darkest part of the year. It's the longest nights during these weeks of December, but maybe we are more inclined, some of us, to be more philosophical. I cannot tell it, but it's that, this time of the year invite us to be more introverted. And by introversion, we can be in touch with the inner knowledge, a deeper consciousness that is not the one we learn in books or at school. It's something that is imprinted inside each of us as human beings. And we can, by being introspection and with ourselves, we can tap in that knowledge, and this can help us to be more at peace. So this is what I invite you to experiment, and to have the best time together in family or alone. And I thank you very much again. I thank you very much for watching and for your help. Bye bye.